What is up, everybody? It's Alex from Heavy New York, and on the phone we got Tom of Primal Fear. Thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah, hello everybody.
Yeah,
Hope all you're doing great out there.
yeah, doing the best we can. Doing the best we can. I was just listening to Metal Commando before you called. The record is absolutely amazing. Do you just want to talk about how the making of this record was, like what the thought process was going into the studio this time around?
Like our our writing process is normally still the same for years. We just start with a small baby with an idea with a riff, and then I record a small riff, and then maybe I can work on that riff the next day. Sometimes it needs like 1 or 2 months to really go back to this idea and put some new ideas to it and new touches and all that stuff. And then you got the song or the main stuff, and then I go to Matt and we write the melody lines for the vocals. So I send it to Ralph, and everybody's working at home, and we wrote like 30 songs this time, and then we skipped that song and we skipped that song, and then I think it was like 15 songs were left, and we recorded 15 songs, and we started with the drums in Denmark, and we still record real drums, which is great. And then Magnus, Ralph, Matt, they had their own studio, and so they record their stuff at home. Alex and I, we also got the studio at home, but this time we decided that Alex, Matt, and I, we are going to our front of house guy. He had a nice studio, so we had a lot of fun recording our guitar stuff there, and it was really productive. And but in the end, it's always the same. We start with small ideas, and then it's so much fun to see this small baby grow to a metal monster. This is so much fun, and we're really proud with the new album. Especially it's the first album for Nuclear Blast after I don't know how many years. And looking forward for the release. All that stuff. Yeah.
Do you consider this just a direct continuation from what we heard on Apocalypse, or is this almost like a standout a little bit in the Primal Fear catalog?
I think it's because we are on Nuclear Blast right now. I think for us it's another step, because we got one of the biggest and best metal labels behind our back, and I think we wrote a lot of really good songs, and I think we recorded the best songs for the album, and I think it's another step in the right direction. But it's also one of those albums that Primal Fear is doing for a long, long time. I think we stand for high quality recordings with a lot of good sounding stuff and metal pounding songs and everything. So I consider, me personally, I consider that it's another step and another level, because we got a new record company and all this stuff. So I'm pretty happy about that, and I can wait that the album will be released.
Yeah, you were signed to Nuclear Blast when Seven Seals and Devil's Ground and Black Sun and all those came out, right?
Yeah, I know. We signed. We were signed to Nuclear Blast right from the beginning.
Yeah.
And I think I'm not sure what, I think that Seven Seals was the last album in 2006, as far as I know, because I'm an old guy and I can't remember what happened 15 or 16 years ago. So I'm sorry for that. But I think that Seven Seals was the last album for Nuclear Blast, and then we went to Frontiers Records, and now we're back with Nuclear Blast. They listened to the last couple of albums, and they were really satisfied, and they really wanted to have us back. And there you go. Now we're back on Nuclear Blast, and I think that it was a good decision to go back, and I hope they will help us to spread our album worldwide.
Definitely. One thing I was curious about is, like, when you look at the entire Primal Fear catalog, going from the first self-titled record to Nuclear Fire to Unbreakable and so on and so forth, is it almost kind of like a timeline of who you guys personally are? Do you look at these albums as almost like a self-portrait?
Yeah, because if you start writing songs, it's a special time or a special period in your time or in your life where you start writing songs and where you got ideas and all that stuff, you know, and where you got influenced by something that happened, and it's always like a chapter in your life. Every album is like a chapter in your life, and probably the next time I will have different ideas than I had for Metal Commando. So, but I think we're all changing. Also, our life is changing, and everything around us is changing, and we are influenced by our surrounding. And so, I think that every album stands for its time when we released it.
Mm-hmm. And I was also curious, being that, you know, your vocalist also sang with Gamma Ray, and that, you know, Matt also played with Sinner and so many other bands. Like, I'd imagine that having artists, you know, coming into one project who played with different bands has got to influence, almost like Primal Fear having a signature sound, right?
Yeah, but when we start writing songs for Sinner, for example, we think totally different, because Sinner is more like a rock or blues influence band, because Matt and I love Thin Lizzy and Billy Idol stuff, and so we are going more in this direction. And when it comes to Primal Fear, it's like more Primal Fear style. And so I think it's fun to have the opportunity that I can do both bands, and it's great fun to play in those bands and to have different kinds of musicians around you, because it's always a nice experience to play with that drummer or with that drummer, or have a keyboard player or no keyboard player, or stuff like that. So it's always fun to have the possibility to play with different kinds of musicians and different kinds of styles with Sinner and Primal Fear.
Yeah, I'd imagine. Do they ever influence each other? Like, does like stuff from Primal Fear ever teach you some new stuff to bring into Sinner, or vice versa?
No, I don't think so. I think there was one song for Sinner we wrote in the 90s. It's called A Question of Honor, and this was the only song that we also put on our Primal Fear album, because we thought that Ralph could sing it really, really good, and the song would fit perfect to Primal Fear, and so we did this. But normally we don't want to. Those bands should not cross their paths. So we're just the same musicians, but it's different kind of music. Mm-hmm. And also the writing process, when we start writing, is totally different than with Primal Fear and Sinner. So it's all good so far. I don't hope that we will get too close musically, but I don't think so, because also Matt is a different kind of singer than Ralph is, and the style is totally different. So
yeah. For your guitar work, do you have like a theoretical background? Like, do you know what scale or chord progression you're working off of, or are you more self-taught and whatnot?
When I started, I got some lessons, and then I taught myself a lot of stuff by myself. But I met a lot of really, really, really good musicians and guitar players, and I always ask for, how do you play this? How do you play that? How did you do this? How did that? And I'm still trying to learn something nowadays, and we all know what we are doing when we play like beat stuff and we do the harmony stuff, and when we're using thirds and fifths and all that stuff. And if you play like a lead guitar on the second chord progression, so we know exactly what to do normally.
Mm-hmm. Are you thinking about that when you're songwriting, or is it more of like an instinct?
It's like when you got there are a lot of songs out there. They're only built on 3 or 4 chords, and the main thing is that you have a nice melody, and when you have the chord that fits to the melody, and even if the same 3 chords through the whole song, I don't care as long as the song is good. I mean, anytime, anywhere you want it. From Journey, it's like 3 or 4 chords, the whole song, and he sings just different melody over the same chords, and nobody really goes like, oh, that's something new, because it's like the same chords over the plate, and he just sings the same differently to it. Mm-hmm. And normally, I'm not like, I think that music should be something that should be touch your heart, and should be really not too technical. So I don't sit down and I want to bring in some new chord progressions and all that stuff and make it more difficult and stuff like that. I think music is something for the heart and not for the brain.
Yeah.
In the first place.
Yeah, well, I think that makes a lot of sense, especially when, just listening to Metal Commando, I thought a song like Halo was very different from a song like I Will Be Gone, which is very different from a song like Afterlife, and so on and so forth. Like, it's fair to say that maybe as a musician you feel many different emotions and you portray that in your instrument, right?
Yeah. Yeah, sure, we do. So, and I never really cared about chord progressions or stuff like that, as long as it fits perfect to the song and it really supports the melody line. I'm fine with it. So probably, but we all know that there are so many songs out there and there are only a couple of chords where you can play. So you will never redefine songwriting or stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it all has been done before 1,000 times. So
yeah. Do you, when it comes to capturing an emotional moment through your instrument, and I love asking artists this because sometimes you're working on songs for days or weeks. If you're Tool, you're working on songs for 13 years. So do you find it harder maybe the longer you're working on something to maybe maintain that emotion or that spark in a way?
Yeah, but if you have the main idea, and the main idea is like the art and it's emotional stuff, and when it's the main idea, so you can build something around it, and you still have that spark and all that stuff. So sometimes it's a no-brainer to write a song in 10 minutes. You go like, wow, that's a rock song, and sometimes it just needs 2 months to get all the ingredients together to make it a really good song.
Mm-hmm. Do you try to execute that same emotion? Does it put you back at that place in time when you re-execute the song live?
Sure, all the time. So, and I also think that Primal Fear is like a live band. We love to be on the stage and we love to deliver our music to our audience. And we also try to capture the live feeling and to get our emotions to the audience and to get a special energy and a special vibe. And we love being a live band, and we also love to capture the moment and to bring on our special feelings across when we're on stage.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything, I just started asking this question because, always when I listen to an album, it's very different from simply seeing a band live. But when it comes, is there anything creative about executing material live since, you're playing material that's been made, but is there any creative entity into the live presence as well?
Yeah, because sometimes when we play live, we change the songs a little bit. So we had ballads and stuff like that with keyboards, and then we use guitar instead of keyboards. And sometimes we play different arrangements. And when you play on an album, you can put on 50 guitars. But when you play live, you only have 2 guitars. So you have to really strip it down and think about what's the best possibility to bring the song across. So, and that's also sometimes tough work to figure out which part of the guitar will be good enough to be played live, so you can get the song across.
Mm-hmm. I'd also imagine that having so many albums out now, it has to get harder to put a set list together too, right?
Yeah, I'm totally right. But because we have really old songs that we still love to play, and also the audience would love to hear the songs, and we only play we're not Bruce Springsteen who can play 4 hours, so we play 1.5 hours, and so we have 16, 17 songs. So, and we promote our 5 songs from the new album, so we have 12 left, and then there will be some tough decisions sometimes. So, but we are all trying to put on the best set list we can do. Inspire our fans and our metal community.
Yeah. It's funny. I was interviewing the singer of I Hate God one time, and he says people always beg a band to do a new album, but when the band plays live, they only want to hear old stuff sometimes.
Yeah, because sometimes you're not really used to the new stuff. Because you listen to the older stuff for 2 years or 4 years or 6 years, and then not really into the new stuff. So maybe they even had the new album. So you play songs they never heard before, or they hardly heard. And so they're really digging the old stuff. And they go berserk, listen to the old stuff, and maybe they're just clapping nicely to the new stuff because they don't know the new stuff. So, but when you wait a couple of months, then you listen. Then they know the new song, and the next time you would love to listen to that song.
Mm-hmm. Now, you ready for the most difficult question of the whole interview?
Sorry?
You ready for the most difficult question of the whole interview?
Oh, yeah, sure, go for it.
Yeah, because you have a song like Infinity that's 13 and a half minutes long, but then you have a song like Raise Your Fist that's just under 4 minutes. How does Primal Fear know when a song is done?
Feeling, I guess. I think now when you start writing a song, then you got like, wow. You know, I never thought about how long this song should or could be. I just start writing a song, and when I feel, I think now we got this song, yeah, that's it. So then we got a song, maybe it's under 4 minutes, maybe we got a song 5.5 minutes, but as the song is good itself, I don't care about the length. And so we got Insanity with 30 minutes, which is a great song in my taste. And we also got like the metal or rock songs, which are 4 minutes, stuff like that. But I think both sides are really good.
Definitely. And being that like you have so many albums out now, does Primal Fear have a sound that you always try to stick with the making of each album? Or like, is there like a formula, or is there still any experimentation in the songwriting process?
I think sound-wise, we always try to improve ourselves to make the next album sound even better than the last one. So, but I talked to Steve Lukather, the guitar player of Toto, and I asked him, Steve, can I play over your gear just to get the sound and everything? And he looked at me and said, yeah, sure, you can play over my gear, but you will never sound like me. And then he told me some stories when he met Jeff Beck and he went to Eddie Van Halen and he played their gear, and he didn't sound like Jeff Beck or Eddie Van Halen. He still sounded like Steve Lukather. And he goes like, it's in the finger. So even when you try to play something different, you will always probably hear that it's a Primal Fear song because it's the same guys that are playing the songs and playing the riffs. And so it's our style to play stuff like this. And so probably even if we try to improve ourselves in the sound-wise and the production-wise, it will be still a Primal Fear record.
That's perfect. And before we go, I want to thank you so much for your time today. I know that
it was really nice talking to you.
Of course. Is there just anything else with Primal Fear? Obviously, thanks to a certain virus that shall not be named, obviously, shows aren't happening. But when all this is over, I'd imagine we'll be seeing Primal Fear on the road quite a lot, right?
Yeah, but like normally we were on tour in America right now together with Symphony X and Firewinds, and got canceled, and all our summer festival appearances, everything got canceled, and there is a European tour in September, October, and we are not sure if we will do it or if we are allowed to do it. And so we will have to wait and see, and hopefully we will hit the road soon because we are a live band. We love to play live. We love to play in front of our audience and all the stuff, and it was really a messy situation to sit at home and doing nothing.
Yeah. Well, it's a good time for creativity, though, right?
Yeah, sure. So I'm at home and I write songs, and I got other projects and started projects with a friend, and so I give lessons and I practice and all that stuff. So I try to keep myself pretty busy and try to be productive, write songs, record new ideas, and hopefully those ideas will see the light of day one day.
Yeah, maybe you'll have a new Primal Fear. You'll have a new.
Maybe So
and
would be nice.
And then when touring again happens, you have to promote 2 albums at once.
Oh yeah, that would be nice.
But thank you so much, everybody. We are here with Primal Fear, Metal Commando, coming out this July. Be sure to pick it up then. This is Alex from Heavy New York, and we will see you next time.